live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, aspirational, international, keenly awaited, daily created, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Trading Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food. Reminding each of you to love life, and trade. What's going on, folks? How's everyone doing? Hope we're doing delish. It's Monday. The week has begun. We only have one day left in July, which is crazy town. Who would have thought? August is right around the corner, which also means that a new theme, new challenges await us all. We will find out only a day from now. What's going on, Jill? Eric says he's doing great. That's fantastic to hear. So good. All right. Well, bottom line, we got some stocks to look at. Let me pull this up over here. Do a little bit of this right here. And let's dive in. Broader markets pulling back today. And we talked about this just 2-3 weeks ago, pretty in depth. Mentioning that, I kind of said that back here, that we probably break out, make new highs towards the end of July. This is where all the newbies would buy, and then we would drop. And I mentioned to ensure that I would not have a lot of open swing trades during that time, which I really don't have. Right, we did lose on Google very recently, and we'll look at that along with Celgene. But, I mean, regarding as far as just the amount of trades that we were in, really not that many at all. And I think that was probably smart. So a lot of dips were occurring today for sure. And a little bit of a lower shadow, got the 20. This is an evening star reversal pattern. We did close below the low right here. So that's the evening star. We closed below the low. Pretty big candle, or pretty big bearish candle today. I think there's a really good opportunity we trade back down to here. Really good opportunity that happens. So unless we close above 281.96, we can call it 290, 282 pretty quickly. Unless we do that, I'm just going to expect a small pullback, very similar to what we've been not a lot different than this or this or this. Just something relatively comfortable. We pull back, and then we get an opportunity to go higher at some point. Here's the Qs. And the Qs, what's really interesting about the Qs is you had a bullish gap and go right here. Then you had a bearish gap and go, and then you had a bullish gap and go that immediately faded. That was very interesting on Friday. So Friday had some bullish gaps and just right out the gate pretty much just got smashed. So all in all, volume increasing. Here's your exponential moving averages. And let's get these pulled up really quick. So we did trade to the 50. That is certainly strong. I can appreciate and respect that. Could we bounce off the 50? Absolutely. If you bought down here, good for you, because here's the last time, right? So this is the previous all-time high that we're just kind of retesting. So yeah, the Qs, good volume, easily could bounce off of this particular price. We will just have to see if that is what transpires. I'll wait again because I think the SPY is going to go a little bit lower. It makes sense for the Qs to go a little bit lower. And I don't think we just bounce immediately tomorrow. If anything, we'll do something like this where we are given multiple shots before it bounces, because that's a lot of volume kind of back-to-back on the Qs. Next is the XRT, which is the retail ETF. And retail holding up relatively okay. So here's the weekly chart. Big picture, you'll notice that we have a really nice consolidation, congestion at this resistance. Could break down, and if we do, which we probably will, we'll trade down into 42.50. And if we break out, which is certainly possible, I'm going to need some closes above here, and I'm going to need some pullbacks, and I'll buy some dips. But the trend looks good. Obviously, buying into these levels on retail was kind of the way to go. It just took a while. That looks really easy, but even that chart right there, I mean, you're holding that position a year and a half. So would have had to been patient right there on XRT. Yeah, and then here's the IWM. And the IWM, real interesting pattern, a little bit of a breakdown. IWM often leading the other ETFs more than not, and we closed below the 50. We're kind of breaking on this little pattern. I'd love to see the IWM actually trade a little bit lower, trade down to about 161, 162. And again, just some natural progression. So my bears, my short-term bears will probably have some fun. Be on the lookout if you're swing trading, very similar to everything else. Just look for stuff that's kind of doing things a little bit different than the market. Because if you're going bearish, remember, we still have been making all-time highs on the IWM and on the Qs. Pullbacks have been getting bought. 2018 is not as red as a lot of people thought it would be when we start off in February. So, right, I mean, we can see that back in IW, you know, when the Russells crash in February, like everything else, we have gone higher. That's a really important thing to keep in mind. So the trends are still bullish. Markets are still bullish. You know, be cautious, be patient, and buy dips. All about your time frame. That's pretty much it. Okay, let's go look at some merchant stocks since it is Merchant Monday. LL, Lumber Liquidators, gapping on earnings, I do believe, tomorrow. I believe they have earnings tonight. I don't think they were today. Nope, tomorrow. Okay. So I'm pretty much just going to mention Lumber Liquidators is at the 100 on a daily chart. It's also below 200 on a daily chart. Here's the weekly time frame. You're, kind of getting that compression of those long-term moving averages. The 200 has really, really helped this one up. Best case scenario, Lumber Liquidators opens above 28. If that happens, go on. It's going to be a powerful gap. Run to the hills. Bullish. Very good bullish gap. Now, on the flip side of that, you have a nice little white candle. If Lumber Liquidators gaps down to about the 23.10 mark, that would be relatively bearish, and I would expect Lumber Liquidators to go lower. That's pretty much it, though. I got on my list for tomorrow morning. We'll watch it, keep an eye on it, see what she's doing, and that's pretty much about it. Let me go put BIIB. So BIIB, this is one that we talked about on Friday that you wanted to keep your eyes on today. And this is what Biogen did. So we were talking about it Friday, and I wrote it down for this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't see this move because this morning nothing was really gapping. There were some stocks that were gapping, but most things opened flat. And this just really wasn't on my radar, and it really didn't start selling off hard until late in the day. And I was already gone and away from my computer on Biogen. So I did miss that little breakdown. Come on and give it to me. I did take one, the ILMN trade, which we'll look at in just a second. But this was the one that broke down. It could easily continue lower. Mark says a new word, gappening. I like it. That's already not a word, gappening. In today's stock market, this is what's gappening. I feel like that has to be a word. I love it though, Mark. One for good trade report for creativity. Coming up with new words, I'm all about it. That's how geniuses are born. That's what Mark does. He just shows up and makes magic. Thanks for gappening. All right. So BIIB, I'm going to watch that one again tomorrow morning as well for a continuation. Today, continuations were the deal. Man. So I went out and looked for new gaps today, and I should have just watched follow-throughs from Friday. Intel, Facebook, Netflix, Amazon. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing, but yeah, all those really fall through. Biogen, BIB. So the one trade I placed, the one profitable trade I placed today, ILMN, Illumina, and what I liked about this gap was very simple. It was right below the low of that white candle, and it was just barely below the wick of that candle. It did work. No one lost on this trade. Here's the exponential moving averages. It was also right below the 20, and you didn't have anything stopping it till the 50. Now, I'm bringing this up for a very specific purpose. I'll talk about it in just a second. But the 5-minute setup was entry here, stop up here. If you're watching this closer, once this candle came in, you could have lowered your stop to there, obviously, and you're getting a little bit more. I was unable to exit this trade until right there. Like right here. I'll tell you guys more about that later, but bottom line, had some information come my way from a really close friend that was pretty disheartening. I'll give more information when, not that I'm like disallow. I just don't want to, I want to be sensitive to the subject. So we'll talk about that later. But my plan says I cannot trade from my phone unless it is an extreme emergency. And this one is an emergency, right? I knew earnings were coming up, and I did not want to be in a short day trade over earnings. So I was in my driveway, getting that one happening because I just pulled up right as it was happening. Anyway, so it's gapping up after market. 6%, 17 points. That would have sucked. Man. Whoo. Now, the cool news is we know that there are some people in there bearish, though, because we were one of them. So this is gapping up tomorrow. It probably will fade, actually, because it's not really clearing the pivot. I could see ILMN fading, but for my day traders, feel free to put that on your list tomorrow. I will watch it. Maybe we make some R's on it twice. I did get an R on ILMN. It was very lucky, but that's only because I didn't get stopped out and it didn't hit my target. It did neither of the two things, so that was my OCO order. And since it did not, I had to manually exit 10 minutes before market close. So it is what it is. Anyway, good trade on ILMN. Nice little gap post-market, and we'll see what that one does. But got an R from it. So for the month of July, I'm at 1.69 R's. Jealous? Whew, man, that's a lot of work for $1,000. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm 16 again. Power washing roofs in Florida. But hey, again, you gotta remember that it's pretty much impossible to complain about not making money trading. Because if you complain about not making money trading, I mean, what exactly are you complaining about? I pressed all the buttons the right way. The money didn't come out of the computer. You know, I mean, I had food, I had water, I slept. So in the grand scheme of things, it's fine. Yeah, definitely a tough month. So if July was challenging for you, I'm not in a losing streak necessarily, but I'm not doing great. So here's what I would suggest. I will send you guys this to-do list. I'm doing this on probably this weekend. I'm really happy that August is volunteer month, because one of the things I do when I'm on a losing streak is volunteer and help out. That is number 2. And it says, someone always has it worse than I do. So I go and give my time and help someone, and I look back and go, you know, not pressing the buttons and making money is probably not that big of an issue. So I love that it's volunteer month. I'm going to do all of these 6 things pretty much in 1 or 2 days, and, you know, just get back in the grind. I'm I'm going to kind of sprucing up my trading plan, go laminate it or something, you know, just rearrange some things, make it look like a new plan, just kind of get the mind right, get ready for August, and kind of come back and crush it. So anyway, hey, some months I can just let you all know they're not going to be fantastic, but in trading, all you need is one good month. I'm telling you, that's all you need. One good month and one good trade. Just don't lose a lot. We're always looking for that one. The one. That one move can make you all that you want to make. Just got to plan it far enough in advance. Anyway, so L brands. I've been keeping an eye on L brands to bounce off of this support down here. This is a weekly chart. And if you're asking why am I trying to do that, mostly the stock has just been getting absolutely shredded. Here's the long-term moving averages. I mean, you're at the 200 on a monthly, so that's not bad. Okay, that's a good start. And then on the daily, you have this like high wave candle. So if you want to do something long-term, this is probably the place that you'd want to look to do it. It looks pretty different than the broader markets, in my opinion. Here's the hourly chart. And if I turn the extended hours off, this is kind of what you got. So I do want to give it a little bit of breathing room. I don't like L brands that much, but 30, I mean, if I really love the company, I'd probably take it pretty aggressive. 31.38, and I'd have a stop like 29.38. So it's in a bearish trend. I do like the bounce. I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 more days. We're going to put it on the list again for Wednesday. It's just all going to be about the candles and the sentiment, but it does look like it's going to bounce to me. You got 2 good volume profiles today and Thursday. Could fill the gap. It's a retest gap, and it's at the 200 on a monthly. And they still pay dividends, you know? Something to think about. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Under Armour, UAA. Kyle Williams was looking at buying a leap on Under Armour, and the 100 on a daily chart will probably be a good place to do it. We're getting the pullback. Obviously, this was some type of wave 3, so this is a big, nice, solid wave 4. And the 100 on a weekly is really kind of what's causing that to pull down a little bit lower. So, yeah, around, like I was mentioning last time I was looking at it, 19. I think about another $1 to go. You know, as it pulls back into the 100, middle of the 200-ish. But this is a good pullback if you're looking for a good pullback. Under Armour's down 20% since June 7th. So a month and a half, not too bad. All right. So, again, that's just for – I'm not doing that trade personally, but Kyle was looking at trading Under Armour. And I have a good friend who likes Under Armour, wears Under Armour. So, you know, picking up some shares might not be that bad of an idea. Cheryl was looking at playing something on Dillard's. Is this a tweezer bottom? Almost a tweezer bottom. And they almost have the exact same high, too. That is interesting because I don't think that happens, but it could break down right before earnings. I'm going to set that up, and really that could be a bracket trade. I just think Dillard's is probably going to go a little bit lower. Certainly doesn't have to. Again, the trend looks relatively bullish. You got the 200 there. What about a monthly? What's a monthly look like? Could be a test. Nah, even if it goes lower, this is a really good double bottom, so it'll probably get bought up. Let's see if it trades sideways one more day. Maybe we can day trade it. I don't know if I'll swing trade it. But Cheryl was looking at doing a put sale on it, and there just really wasn't any premium, even over earnings for August. Cheryl was like, hey, I want some shares of Dillard's. I shop at Dillard's a lot. So a $70 put sale for August. Cheryl now actually has OK premium because implied volatility spiked a little bit today. So a $70 put sale, you could get 80 cents on a regular August 17th, which is below the 200 on the daily. So you're getting it for Yeah, $12 cheaper, about 16% off. Take that coupon into Dillard's. See if it works for you. Not bad. Anyway, I'll come back and look at that on Wednesday. Alaska Airlines. So we're looking at Alaska Airlines on Friday because it had a massive bullish candle. And we mentioned that would probably pull back. You had the 200 symbol right there. So yeah, nothing to see in Alaska. We'll look at it more on Thursday. That's pretty much it. Okay, next on the list, DHI. And DHI, Dr. Horton, here's a who. It's down 0.4% today. Stuck in between the 100, 200. The reason I was looking at Dr. Horton, here's a who, is because you had this very nice bullish gap and go. You had this high wave bearish candle in between both the 100 and the 200 simple moving average. And that's really about it. So I was kind of hoping / expecting it would break higher. Nothing presently. Yep, we'll just keep waiting on that one. I'll glance over it on Friday and see if it's doing anything cool. I mean, it could break out. It'd be a nice gap to trade. Earnings is also, dividends is also around the corner. Home builder company. So if you plan on building a home, maybe you could be using this company. But I do like this hammer on a weekly. I like the volume. I like the trend. Certainly one to watch. Okay, Brandon says this one is different than the other home builders. Nice, nice. Large chance we're going to look at this tomorrow. Yeah, pretty strong. FANG index slides into correction territory. Oh boy, let's read this. It's down 20% from its all-time highs last week. I mean, it's got to happen at some point, but let's see what this got. It's just interesting. 10% pullback. I mean, I guess technically, NYSE FANG index, closely watched stock index of global technology, tumbled into correction. The NYSE FANG index comprised of Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Also has a Chinese, gotcha, 10%. All right, well, you know, definitely good pullback. So anyway, Apple, I think it's probably going to gap down and trade higher because this pattern is still in effect. It's still in effect. It's still happening. I love the lower shadow. I can see a gap down on Apple. I mean, if it's a really, really tiny gap, that would be fun. And then we'd have a nice quick sell-off and we could make money off of that. You all know that I like to trade an Apple often, and I plan for what it's going to do. If Apple gaps up to 197 or higher, she is gone with the win. Oscar nominee for best gap of the week will be Apple. Now, if it gaps down, we will see. You know, it depends on where it gaps and where it opens to. I can see a trade low. I can see a trade as low as 169, 170. That makes tons of sense to me. Kind of come down to this retest gap down here and, you know, start to bounce around. The weekly 50 is at 172.06. So bottom line, if you got some shares of Apple, keep holding them long term. But in relation to all of that, if Apple does gap down, it'll bring the market down as well. And then I think everyone probably hops on board on the bear train. They freak out. They get all scared and panicked. And then the market probably bounces and recovers. If it gaps up and runs, you know, it'll pull the markets higher and everything will be fine. Shouldn't really be any issues. So I like where we're at. I like where we're going. That's what I got on Apple. No present covered call because there is no real premium that interests me, because if Apple does have a bearish candle tomorrow and gaps up, on earnings. She's going to fly. And it'll be a trillion-dollar company by the end of August, and there's no real reason to have a covered call if that happens. Mark says Apple at 197 would define a gappening for sure. A gappening, sponsored by M. Night Shyamalan at a theaters near you. Next on the list is GST. GST. So this is one that has tons and tons of volume. Oil and gas exploration. Obviously, it's really cheap. Pretty much a penny stock at this point. Here's the weekly. And talk about something that has just gotten absolutely rampaged as this one. So this is the weekly. So we're pretty much going to zero on this one, it seems. I don't have any particular position in PST. If I did hold this one after hours or overnight, which is certainly possible, for the next preceding future, I would probably just be doing an absolute zero methodology with my risk. That's pretty much it. So it's going, yeah. Today's an inside day candle. Tons of volume. They're probably restructuring, writing some things for chapter 11 or whatever. I don't know. Creating something new. But anyway, if it breaks out, sure, you can play a quick move. But however you play it, if you day trade it, great. It doesn't really move that much in the day trade spectrum. But if you do hold it overnight, just do an absolute zero methodology. I don't see that one coming back from the grave anytime soon. 3D printing. I am considering doing a put sale on 3D. And only because it's not very expensive. I've done it tons of times in the past. The 200 simple was pretty much a brick wall for this one. And I can get some OK premium at $9. The other day, which was Friday, I could have gotten 9 cents. So I'm going to wait 1 or 2 more days on 3D to see if I can sell the put sale down here at 9, which is $3.50 cheaper than where we are. Pretty much free money. But if we do trade down there and I do get exercise, it really won't be the end of the world. There is some premium, even $9.50. Okay, I could sell $9.50 and get 10 cents, which again is not mind-bogglingly great, but it's also not deplorable. So just kind of keep that in mind. That's my plan. I'm going to come back and look at it on Thursday. I just want at least 10 cents. I would really rather sell 9 than $9.50. Benjamin says, are there 3D printers marketed towards individuals or businesses? To my knowledge, 3D focuses more on kind of like the individual consumer basis. Yeah, this one specifically. All right. Welcome to Southwest Airlines. We'd love to have you. The high of today, 58.43. The high of Friday, 58.43. We have a tweezer top. Now, today's candle is pretty much irrelevant. So if we break higher, I'm going to put this in here. Earnings, we can kind of throw right here. We can kind of throw right here. We're just going to watch it for 1 or 2 days and see if she pops higher. Now, if it does roll over, that's fine. I get it. I won't play that direction personally. I likely will just play the bullish move. A lot of it finally bounced, is all I can say. I've been saying it since March, and it took 4 months, but she did bounce. And some people are making some good money off of Southwest. Let's hope she stays airborne, says Dr. Falconium. Yep, I agree. So I have this on the list for tomorrow. We'll see what she looks at. Falco will not cry if he gets exercise at 57.50. That way he can actually eat some food for August. He doesn't have to do the Newsom diet anymore. But yeah, I like the volume decline. I like the volume increase on the bull move. I like the bounce. I like where it's at. For those who have Southwest long term, if you're in some protective puts, beautiful. I mean, at this particular juncture, there's all kinds of things you could do, but realistically, your put sales are pretty much worthless for August, and you can't really sell against them to bring in any income. So let's just hope she stays airborne, as Falco says. I like that plan. All right, glad that one bounced. Okay, Facebook, FB. Ashley did buy a share or two of Facebook. This is my Ashley today on ticker symbol FB. Her purchase price was $170 a share. Pretty gnarly to me, this particular close. Now, she has a longer term perspective, doesn't need the money for this trade. It's not like the end of the world. She loses some or whatever. I mean, it's, again, a little bit of a longer term play. It did come into this gap. We did bounce really interesting level. I was texting a few traders. I think we easily could trade down to 160. We by no means have to, but today's candle is by no means bullish. So weekly chart looks pretty bearish. I think we go to 160 and then bounce, but we certainly do not have to. Now, I'll be very specific on what I think happens on Netflix from here. This is a new high relative to this high, and I do believe Facebook created a divergence. I'm pretty positive. Let me go pull out MACD. Not really. Not on MACD, which is a good sign. Let me go look at RSI. RSI it did. Okay, so it did create one on RSI. So all that means is momentum is probably going to slow down. Here's what I think Facebook does. Put sales, I got that one down there for September. There is some premium down there for September. You get it 30 points lower. But we probably do something like this. Boom, 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 boom. Bam. My thoughts on Facebook from here. There was some divergence on RSI as shown on the weekly. Earnings, if we're being honest, were still quite good. No divergence on MACD. I do think Facebook recovers. She will just take time, but higher highs from here are very likely before end of next year. Be looking for dip buys and option selling and short-term bear day trades for the next 1 to 2 months. That's just my thought, my theory. Obviously, I could be entirely wrong about that. I mean, Mr. Squiggles is hardly ever wrong. But it makes sense to me for Facebook to do something like this. Okay, that's pretty much it. Okay. So Facebook, now what else? I mean, with all that being the case, I mean, if you're doing put sales, if you're buying shares around 150, I mean, it was at 200 not too long ago. That'd be a good gain. Oh, I did a logarithmic. Shoot. So we got that. I'll take this off for right now. Let's pop into the daily chart. And the daily chart, I mean, I love this lower shadow. Let me give a shout out to Liam, who played this one bullish. Premium is terrible for Facebook. Yes, premium is just horrible. So Liam, I'll hop over to here. So Liam was playing right here. Do I see a double bottom on Facebook on the 5 minute? This was 12:08 Central. 12:09, 60 seconds later. That's good customer service. I said, yep. And here is what Liam saw on the 5 minute chart. There's a double bottom. Boom, 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 boom. So Liam did get trailed out right there. So a little bit of a tight stop, but he obviously played it high risk because he got 1.25 Rs. So the risk was pretty tight. But that's okay, right? You're not going to catch him. It's not Pokemon. You're not going to catch them all. We did do a similar setup on NVIDIA, and we did not get filled on NVIDIA, which I'm okay with. Not a big deal. But our entry was here. Setup was there. We would have gotten out of a little bit right there, and I would have gotten trailed out of the rest right there. We would have gotten 0.7, 0.8 Rs on NVIDIA. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Facebook. Celgene, check this one out. So CELG, I'm just going to leave that open. As a swing trade, maybe it only trades into the 200. Maybe we'll only make an R on it, but I do like it. A lot of you made some money on Celgene from pretty much all of July. And if you played this little, if you played the buy down here, congrats. That was a really killer buy right off of this support at 86.16. But hourly chart looks nice. I like it. It's set up. That's Celgene. Now, we do have QD. And QD, we did have set up. And round of applause for QD for not triggering us in before it tanked. So thanks for that, QD. Thank you for the no trap. That is right. So we did not get trapped on QD. We can cancel that trade. I'll come back and put on the list for Friday as a maybe we do something. Now, speaking of traps, Google did just drop kick me right in the throat for an R today. But hey, when you're going to lose, that's how you want to lose. You're going to lose pretty much instantaneously. Could have increased the stop, almost did, but I can't be, if I'm just a little too fast. So, it's all good. Beautiful trend, just didn't bounce. This is the answer to the question, but what happens if it doesn't bounce? This is it. This is pretty much what happens if a stock does not bounce. You lose on a trade, and then you try to find another one. Jack Sutherland says, not sure if I missed it. Could you please check TCEHY? Was that on the list for today? TCEHY. I will put on the list for tomorrow, my friends. TCEHY, done. So anyway, Google, got stopped out of Google. And I do like the gap fill. We will play this one again. It is on the list again, and I think she comes down to the previous all-time high, 1188, and then we play that one. 1188, we'll do Google once again. Long term, don't worry about Google. As long as the internet's still a thing, Google is great long term. I'm just looking for short-term trades. I don't have any long-term position in Google unless I liquidate all this stuff and start throwing into Google. I can have 2 or 3 shares. But if I really want like a sizable position, I'd have to liquidate some other stuff, which I certainly could. But Google also doesn't really pay dividends. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making excuses, but I love Google. Long term, no question. All right. And Microsoft, so very similar to Raytheon. A lot of people played Raytheon. Played Microsoft a little bit different, or each person played different. So the setup on Microsoft was entry here, 235, stop there, $1.35, and hit 435 the very same day. So you hit 2 R's on Wednesday. And then obviously she just rolled right back over. So if you exited a quarter, half, all, whatever you did, most traders, myself included, 2 R's, exit a little bit off because it's 2 R's in one day. In this market, you kind of pretty much have to do something at 2 R's. And if you increase your stop on the rest to $1.50, you got stopped out today. So you would have made, if you did the exact same thing, half an R on the trade overall. And if you did like Jessica James Levan did, you're nicely profitable. So it just totally depends on how you play Microsoft. Very quick. I mean, again, when you're doing a weekly options trade, when you're doing very fast trades, options are directional, in, out, make your money, move on. A pull down to the 50 would be great. I think that makes tons of sense. And weekly chart looks pretty interesting on Microsoft. Pretty interesting chart. But right now the trend is powerful. So we'll see. There was really a no premium for anyone who had shares of Microsoft and wanted to do a covered call or something. There was just no premium. Even if you sold it on Wednesday, there was, unless you did an at the money, like a 110, there was just really no premium, unfortunately. Okay, next on the list, Costco. COST. Costco, not doing much. I got a buddy who's in a put sale. It had a decent gap, made a new all-time high. Chilling. No trade setup on Costco. This is the weekly. So if you see you got a doji at the all-time high, highest ever. So pretty mesmerizing, I would say. And I don't really have any other play on Costco. I like the trend. The trend looks good. Buy the dip if you want to play it. That's all I got. All right, next on the list, DocuSign, DOCU. And DocuSign, we were looking at some point for a potential close above 57.70, which that hasn't happened yet for a breakout. But you'll notice Mr. Squiggles with his bright green marker thought that it was going to come down to that same support and bounce, which it did. So we're back down there again on DocuSign. This is certainly a wave 4. And yeah, if you're playing DocuSign, I mean, it could, I say certainly a wave 4, obviously could break down and turn to something else. That's a pretty nice little hammer right there that did make a new low. And if you're looking at playing DocuSign, you could do a shorter term trade. It could be kind of quick in and out. For those of you who request a DocuSign and you know who you are, it's all about what you want to do with it, how quickly you want to trade it, what your time frame is, what strategy you're playing with. All those things kind of factor into consideration for what, where, and when and why you do something. So I like the hammer. I like the fact that it made a little bit of a lower low because some bears probably hopped on. I mean, feel free to play the channel if you've been planning on it. And, you know, I'll draw kind of how I'd be looking at playing it. I mean, that's a phenomenal hammer. So you would just do, really you do a limit buy, something like this, flick of the wrist, put this on the right side, and then you would throw on this guy. So that's 51.59. He'd probably go 49.59. And give a little bit of room below that wick, and then increase that stop if it has to happen. Some volume increase. So again, some people definitely hopping on bearish on DocuSign. Does it have to bounce? No. Do I think this is a wave 4? I do. But a lot of those newer IPOs, we'll just have to see what happens. So that's DocuSign. Here's CRMD. What is CRMD? Didn't know this one. Ooh, pharmaceutical. Oh, yes, I remember this one. Somebody was asking about this. Look at this weekly volume. So this one is at 69 whole cents. Again, I think a lot of you know how to play those pharmaceutical, healthcare, penny stocks. This is one of them. Not saying you can't make money off of it. You're welcome to do a little bit of research and figure out, but I mean, this one came up on my radar on Friday. It did have a bullish gap right here. Bullish gap and go, had an inside candle. Really nice gap on Friday. That was a great day to buy it. And today you're up 37%. But again, it just all comes down to risk. You can make a lot of money off of penny stocks, but no one who trades penny stocks online talk anything about risk at all. So just kind of keep that in mind. Understand and go in with your time frame. Know what it is for. The heavier position that you play, the more research you should do. But you got to like that volume, that movement, and that trend does look delish. Okay, we've got a few left. We're making good time. Amazon, tons of volume coming in on Amazon right now, a whole lot. And I'm thinking we're looking something like this. The 50 is almost a no-brainer. What's interesting right now, this is kind of my opinion. Amazon's probably one of the hotter stocks right now. Everyone's talking about Amazon. Now, I'll preface this with if you're longer term, don't even worry about what I'm about to say. It's not irrelevant. But earnings were, what's the term? Okay. They're all right. And this is one of the hottest stocks people are talking about. Amazon, everything. Everywhere I go. Business meetings, restaurants, bars, everyone's talking about how expensive Amazon is, how well it's doing, how they're taking over everything. And their PE ratios have never gotten any better. This could be a short-term double top, and I think that Amazon is about to experience a little bit of a dip. I would love a pullback just to 1,600. Right around that 100 simple moving average, that would be fantastic. Ben says they do have some divergence on the MACD, and then on the MACD. Let's go to RSI. Unless it's a weekly. Maybe it's a weekly MACD. Yep, weekly MACD divergence. You have that there. That's interesting. And RSI probably has some as well. A little bit, yeah. Definitely some. The daily, there's some there. A lot on the daily, actually. So, yeah, I think Amazon's going to slowly creep lower. Now, I can't do any bear call spreads because it's against the trend, and I'd only have 1 or 2 check marks at best. I'm really going to be watching for this lower shadow. Here's best case scenario for the bears on Amazon. Tomorrow, small bullish candle comes in, hangs out, no big deal. And then we start breaking down on Wednesday. Could hang out here for a while, but I'm watching for some bear movements on Amazon. And then, obviously, longer term, probably bullish. But just very short term, I think Amazon needs to rest. Everyone's talking about it right now. It's the hottest stock that, it's hot. It's on fire. Everyone knows about Amazon now. Dropbox, down 7%. You all remember me getting out of this one a little bit early. I don't feel that bad about it. We lost on that one, but this is what happens when those trends break down. That's what happens. So Dropbox, interestingly enough, coming right back down to its IPO low. What's interesting about this pattern is it really is a quick flash and then a quick move lower, which is not great. Even though I did trade Dropbox, I think you all know I'm not its biggest fan. I don't really like Dropbox. Every time someone tells me I have to sign in for something on Dropbox, I kind of go, oh, jeez. So, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It just means fundamentally I'm not a buyer. Long term, I'm not a buyer. If you want to buy here short term, cool. I mean, it's at a really good support. I wouldn't miss out on it if it gaps or something. That's a good move off the support level. You can look for a day trade. But if it hangs out and trades sideways for a bit and breaks lower, I could see Dropbox going even lower. I'll put it on the list. We'll come back and look at it on Wednesday, but no official trade on Dropbox presently. Visa finally pulling back, and it might not even be that big. Just to the 50, just 2 days of a pullback. A lot of volume, though. Biggest bearish volume that it's had in a while. Most bearish volume that it's had since March 19th, which did call it to go lower, or to go lower. So Ben says we knew this was coming. We did. And again, I just can't buy in these levels. I just can't. Not yet. Not yet. So I would love the markets to see some just a little bit more of a pullback. Am I a dip buyer right now? On most things, no. On most things, I'm not. It has to be a lot lower for me just to dip buy, because again, I kind of think the whole market needs a little bit more of a pullback just based on the SPY. But anyway, I like the area. I like the moving averages. We will watch these closely. Again, if she pulls back to the 100 simple, I'm a fan. I think that'd be a good buying opportunity. But again, folks, we could have a good old time together coming up in a few days. I'm all for trading some fast drops. We just really haven't gotten any. Most of our drops that we've had recently happen in a day or two, and that's it. There's no other follow through. You get 1 to 2 days to make money, and then it's just back to the races. So we'll see if we actually get any follow through on these. I'm doubting them, but if we do, let's play it. Okay, next on the list is Twitter, and Twitter had a follow through of the ages. Guess who didn't play it at all? This guy. It didn't really gap. It just opened and free fell. That was it. So I kind of missed it out the gate, and I didn't play any of these other moves. So yeah, I missed Twitter today like an absolute goober. I mean, it was a bearish gap and go on Friday, and it's Twitter. So, yeah, I mean, puts over earnings were definitely nice. Wish I had held them. Thought about it. But every gap down just keeps getting bought up recently. So anyway, Twitter, I mean, I really do like the sell-off that it's having. Here's the weekly. And to me, I mean, it looks like we're having a healthy, needed correction and pullback on Twitter, because we were at 46, now we're back to 31. So very volatile, to say the least. But I'm game to buy the dip off the 200. I'm okay with that. So we'll give it 2 or 3 days. We'll see what she does. We're going to watch it again tomorrow. I will be all right playing Twitter down here bullish if we give it the opportunity. So we're going to keep tabs on it. IQ, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. By the way, I mean, it didn't – it got about as close as it can get to closing below that 50 today. So that we all know, I'm one of the few – I mean, I don't even know of anyone else who's actually bearish on IQ. For some reason, everyone's bullish. And we made good money bullish on IQ. I mean, that thing made most people's May and June. Phenomenal. But real life trading, I mean, the people who are here, everyone else is massively bullish. Maybe we're missing something. I don't know. But Mike was watching it most of the day. High five to you, Mr. Ramsey. You have a lower high. Again, I'm just going to do it one more time. Let's come back over here to Baba on the daily. And we still have that pattern saved. But you'll notice, if I hide this pattern, Check it out, guys. I'm telling you. Look at this. Look at this. I'm so spot on with this pattern. I just know it. I know it. Come on. Come on. That's called homework right there. I mean, oh boy. I love it. So, if you go bearish, per this pattern, short pullback there and there. Don't take breakouts, take pullbacks if you're going to go short. So there's a lot of similarities with that pattern. I do think IQ can go lower. We will see. Again, maybe I'm just entirely wrong, but I don't think so. Mike says August puts 32.50. All right. So that's what Mr. Ramsey's in. Anyway, that's my thoughts on IQ. Just be very cautious, bullish. Ashley has some positions, but it's pretty small right now. She bought in here, literally almost at the exact low of this candle. It's kind of incredible. I think the rest of her positions are at 20. So she's waiting on this one for a bit. She'll buy, but just lower. And again, long term. All right, so here's ones that were some requests. CRM, one of my favorite stocks going forward. I just love that it's pulling back a lot. I mean, it went from 70, so it's gone up 100% this last year and a half. Really, really strong move. Salesforce just cruising. A lot of people ask me about buying the dip on this one. It did come back down to the 50. I do love the candle. I do love the volume. I'm going to wait a little bit more for this dip, though, because this is some serious volume. Last time we had volume like that was on earnings, and then both earnings. This was a non-earnings event that had pretty high bearish volume. So if you're looking at buying a dip on Salesforce, which I'm fine with, I think it pulls down to the 100. Earnings are about a month away, so we got time. But yeah, long-term, 4-year outlook, I think Salesforce is a great own. I really do. Great one to own. Just short term, I do like the pullback. I know I'm a big dip buying fan, but the volume that came in today was kind of legit on most things. And we also have to factor in, I'm all about buying the dip until I think the trend's a little bit too extended. And then it needs to pull back some more. And there's a lot of trends I really do feel like are a little on the extended side, and Salesforce is kind of one of them for now. Okay, Tyson, TSN. The interesting thing on Tyson, we're actually gapping up. The big takeaway on this one is just where it's located, 200 simple on a weekly. If you're planning on going bullish on Tyson, I actually get that. I'd have my stop around 57.76. Falco says the salsa cups are emptying. For right now, there's not a whole heck of a lot of salsa left because I'm waiting for a little bit more pullbacks on some of these massively extended stocks, for sure. But TSN did have a gap down today. It really didn't trap that many people. I didn't play Tyson today at all, even though it was a really good rollover. I mean, if you did play it, congrats. It wasn't that hard to play. Entry here, stop up here. It just took a while to roll over, but you made money. So all I can say about Tyson, not that many people trapped. We're gapping up a little bit tomorrow, and I'd be probably looking at playing a bullish off the 200, expecting that gap to fill. All right, we got 4 left. I've already looked at BABA, right? I looked at the stock review. I'll look at it later. SOGO. So a lot of people keeping their eyes on SOGO, seeing if anything cool is going to happen. And I don't know how much coolness is going to happen on it. I really do like this gap down. I do think a lot of people are buying today. Again, we got out of SOGO for the weekly options newsletter. Pretty strong pullback. It's hard to say if this one fades. It is. I don't think it does. I think SOGO rolls over. If it breaks 9:45 or 9:30, I'd be really cautiously waiting on SOGO. Black candle gapping down. Earnings were not bad. It hit 11. So Sohu, not Sogo. Yeah, the other one. Earnings weren't that bad. They did pretty well actually on SOGO. So yeah, let's look at it again tomorrow. I don't have enough information right now to really tell what I think. Other than if it breaks that 940 mark, I think we go a little bit lower. 3 left, TLRY. A lot of people ask me to keep my eyes on this one, and I am, but it keeps on breaking down. So we were looking at going bullish, maybe above 2809. Hasn't happened yet, so let's just keep waiting. I'll put on the list for Thursday, and we'll come back to it and see if anything interesting is happening, because right now it's really not. Next on the list, we've already canceled, so QD. We canceled QD, our swing trade. And then BABA. Tons of people playing BABA today, all kinds of different ways. I'll look at this one in the stock review as well. BABA. Yeah, this has been happening recently where like this thing comes up and doesn't go away. Let me just refresh this. Falco says, I'll be holding off on the HIBs. HUIA, IQ, Bilibili, and Sogu. The HIBs. Nice. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to wait as well, just a little bit longer on those. BABA. So I think BABA goes lower just a little bit. Just a little bit. Wow. And here's the 50 EMA on a weekly. 50 EMA on a weekly is at 178.46. I think that is an easy one. Super easy. We probably get there. George has a put sale. Camilo has a put sale. We did close below the 200 simple moving average, and we are gapping down a little bit more. So Andy did really well playing some puts on this one on BABA today. If BABA gaps down, and I really say opens where it's printing right now, 184.22, you probably want to play BABA again bearish with some puts, just kind of covering yourself a little bit and let her ride down some more. The pattern that I saw on BABA that I think is a takeaway, again, long term I'm still bullish on BABA, but here's the new all-time high. It traded down, rotated up, and then made a new low. New all-time high, retest, gap action, traded down, rotated up, possibly making a new low before it bounces. I think that's a good possibility. Now, theoretically, it could go all the way down to 149 and bounce. That's also feasible. BABA will hit 300. The question is just simply when, in my book. And now it's a really good race. Which one hits 300 first, Facebook or BABA? Because they're getting even closer to each other's price range. So, yeah, moving averages are really tight on BABA. They're hanging out. I think we could come down to the 170-ish level and lowest place possible, that 150 price range. Nancy says, if you play BABA with puts, what expiration and delta do you pick? It depends, honestly, if you have shares or if you're just trying to day trade it. Because if you have shares, you want to protect your shares a little bit more. So you're probably buying, really preferentially, you want to buy a strike price above where you purchased the stock. Right? So if you bought it above one, let's say you bought BABA at 170, you want to buy a put above 170 in case it tanks, so you could sell your shares for more than you bought it for. Right? So that's kind of quote number one. If you're just day trading it, at the money is fine. But usually for me, I'm anywhere between 0.6 and 0.5 delta, oftentimes, 2-3 weeks to expiration. And if I'm doing a protective put, anyway, I would love to have the strike higher than where I bought the shares, if that makes financial sense. But I usually buy a put, let it make money, sell the put, and then buy more shares with that premium. So for example, BABA, let's say you made $300 on BABA today. You buy, put that in savings account or something, or just on the side, and buy some more shares, a share or two later down the road. But if BABA takes out this support right here, we're definitely going to the 50. And ultimately, we could all the way trade all the way back to 164. But I think a lot of people are going to want to buy there. It'd almost be too easy. So I think they get trapped. And I think my next target on BABA is 150. Worst case scenario. Worst case. So again, if you have shares long term, it's a no-brainer. Just protect yourself. There's no reason not to have some puts. If it goes down, obviously you're going to make more money on equity if the stock goes up. But if it goes down, make a little bit of money on your puts. Maybe buy some more shares. That kind of thing. Or just use that cash to, go do something with it, whatever that might be. All righty. That is it for me for Merchant Monday. Tomorrow, everyone's favorite day, Tech Giant Tuesday. Here's the stocks that I've already got listed for tomorrow. Shopify, Square, Bob again, Facebook, Netflix, Google, Amazon, Southwest Airlines, TCEHY, Twitter, Sogo. Anything else? Caterpillar had a nice gap up today. Faded. IQ again. Okay. Can do. UXIN. All right. Can do UXIN. Sweet. FXI. Okay. NVIDIA, got it. Beautiful. All right, team. I'm here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thanks so much for being real life traders. Thank you for helping me enrich lives. Thank you for enriching lives with me. And until then, love life, and trade it.